Fascism of the Iuic. Yeah, what's going on, party people? The place to be. I go by the name of the BK Apologist, transmitting all the way live. New York is the city. Brooklyn is the borough. What's good? What's popping? Hope everybody's doing well. We chilling. Happy Wednesday to each and everybody. Of course, if you have not yet already, please like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend that it's him again. You guys are the street team. You guys are the ones to put the word out about these videos. I don't have a machine behind me. I'm just a lowly YouTuber, out here trying to make it in the rough jungle of these YouTube streets, and I can use as much help as possible. So please, please, please share this video wherever you are. And if you like how it goes down with BK, you can show your appreciation via PayPal link that's attached to the top of the chat. Or if you want to be a monthly supporter of BK, you can join my Patreon, where you get an assortment of gifts to enhance your personal Bible study. Because we got the Reverend Quint Monsignor on the check-in. We got DWC. What's going on? What's going on, guys? Glad to see you. Glad to see you. So, we are gathered here today. I found this video by Peace Angela. Good to see you. From IUIC. And it's entitled Fascism of the USA. And in this video by IUIC, they give you a definition from Wikipedia about what fascism is. And the definition is as follows. Fascism is a far-right authoritarian and ultra-nationalist political ideology and movement characterized by a dictatorial leader, centralized autocracy, militarism, forcible suppression of opposition, belief in a natural social hierarchy, subordination of individual interests, further perceived. There's an ellipse there. It goes on and on. So, I found this definition interesting, especially the part here that says, well, first of all, what is an ideology, right? Fascism is an ideology. Well, what is an ideology? It's a manner or the content of thinking characteristic of an individual, group, or culture. Right? It's integrated assertions, theories, and aims that constitute a social political program or a systematic body of concepts, especially about human life or culture. So fascism is an ideology. It's content of assertions and theories. It's a body of concepts about how you perceive the world. It's basically a worldview, right? And the part that I want to look at in their definition was the term ultra-nationalist, right? Ultra-nationalist. So, this is from the European Center for Populism Studies. It says here that ultra-nationalism is, quote, extreme nationalism that promotes the interests of one state or people above all others, end quote. Or simply, quote, extreme devotion to one's own nation. Ultra-nationalism combined with the notion of natural rebirth, paleogenetic ultra-nationalism, is a key foundation of fascism, according to Jens Bugazzi. In its most extreme or developed forms, ultra-nationalism resembles fascism, marked by a xenophobic disdain for other nations. Support for authoritarian political arrangements verging on totalitarianism and a mythical emphasis on the, quote, organic unity between a charismatic leader and organizationally amorphous movement type party and the nation. Right? So we're getting deeper into the understanding of this fascism, right? It being ultra-nationalism and what ultra-nationalism is. You know, having a disdain for the other individual, right? A mythical emphasis on the unity of this particular group of people, a national rebirth, hence term paleogenetic ultra-nationalism, right? So we're just digging deep here in the definitions. And when it comes to paleogenetic ultra-nationalism, it's a theory concerning generic fascism formulated by British political theorist Roger Griffin. The key element of this theory is the belief that fascism can be defined by its core myth, namely that of revolution in order to achieve a, quote, national rebirth, paleogenesis. Griffin asserts that ultra-nationalism is essentially xenophobic and is known to legitimize itself. Though deeply mythicized narratives of past cultural or political periods of historical greatness, or of old scores to settle against alleged enemies. It can also draw on vulgarized forms of physical anthropology, genetics, and eugenics to rationalize ideas of national superiority and destiny, of degeneracy and subhumanness. Right? So this is, you know, just diving deep into this understanding of the ideology of fascism. More specific here, paleogenetic ultra-nationalism. Now, IUIC is talking about America in this format, right? And this by no means is me defending um, everything that is quote unquote American. Obviously, I'm very happy to be here. It's a blessing to be here with all the warts and all the flaws this nation has. I am happy, and I think most of us are happy to be here because as bad as it is here, it's a lot worse in other places, right? So, but to put that aside, this is what they're talking about. But when you dig deeper into the definition of fascism, I think we come across some irony here because when you look at some of the points of this paleogenetic ultranationalism, it seems that IUIC pretty much fits the bill of what this is. So the very thing they're critiquing the country, America, for, they seem to be guilty of the same ideology. So what we're going to do, actually, I got another thing here. So I said Griffin argues that fascism uses the paleogenetic myth to attract large masses of voters who lost their faith in traditional politics and religion by promising them a brighter future under fascist rule. So what we're going to do now, we're going to look at some of the main points of this paleogenetic ultra-nationalism, and we're going to see if IUIC agrees with them. And how I'm going to go about doing that, I'm simply going to show you some of their thumbnails. Because, you know, when you do a YouTube video, one of the most important things is the thumbnail, right? Because that's the advertisement for the video. So you want to be able to someone to see your thumbnail and quickly understand what this video will be about, right? So one of the tenets of this ultra nationalism is a national rebirth. Now, does IUIC speak of a national rebirth? Well, let's take a gander at a couple of thumbnails, shall we? So we got here Mr. Captain Gadalaya, the Great Awakening. Right? Remember, national rebirth, right? The Great Awakening. You have awakening of the lost sons of God. Okay. The awakening to righteousness is the Lord's revolution. Yeah, we got Deacon Labaka, the awakening of Jacob. Reborn, video by Captain Zakar here, IUIC. And of course, we can't forget the women of IUIC, right? Daughters of Zion Reborn. So they're definitely about a rebirth of a nation, right? So that's one of the tenets of ultra-nationalism. Clearly, this is something that they are supportive of. Okay. Another tenet of this paleogenesis ultra-nationalism is that it promotes the interests of one state or people above all others. Well, does IUIC do this? Well, let's look at a couple of thumbnails. Salvation is only for who? The Israelite nation. Right? Says here, the God of Israel only loves our people. Right? Christ was only sent for Israel. Right? So again, we see that they check the box off when it comes to a national rebirth and this idea that, you know, it's only about them. Right? The next tenet of ultranationalism scores to settle against alleged enemies. So does IUIC have ops? Do they have opposition? Do they have an enemy that they wish to settle score with? Well, as we see thus far, let's look at a couple of thumbnails to see if that is the case. So here we have Esau, Jacob's enemy. I mean, it doesn't get more clearer than that, right? Esau is the enemy of this quote unquote reawakened nation, right? Believe it or not, God hates Esau. Hates Esau, right? And the fate of Esau. You know, we're gonna do to them what they've done to us, right? Another tenet here: fascism uses the paleogenetic myth to attract large masses of voters who have lost their faith in traditional politics and religion. Let's look some thumbnails here. To hear God, you must leave the Christian church. Right? They know that many people have become disenchanted for various reasons, suffering different types of church hurt or disenchantment with the church. And they are here to take full advantage of that. Right? Because again, it uses this paleogenetic, this idea of this awakened nation of revenge against this you know enemy from time immemorial, right? They use this to attract you to get out of where you're at spiritually. Therefore, you know, they have videos called "To Hear God, You Must Leave the Christian Church." Here's another one: Black people must leave the Christian church, part 3. Okay. And then of course we have a mythical emphasis on the organic unity between a charismatic leader, an organizationally amorphous movement type party, and the nation. So, does IUIC have a charismatic leader? Let's see.
There's no man on the planet Earth that has opened the Bible and brought it out to the capacity that the bishop has done. That's why I admire the man. That's why I'm friends with him. And that's why I trust him. Because the greatest book on the face of the planet Earth, the Lord put the Spirit on him to go through it and take us to what you see in this room right now. So I think everything you said is for our soul. Give us something. Can be better leaders, better teachers. And we are here doing the hard work. But guess what? It's because you God has chosen you to lead the flock.
Never give up. You never give up. I thank the Most High God for using you to pull me out of this wretched world.
Pretty charismatic, I would say. Right? Pretty charismatic individual. So, what do you think? They pretty much fit the bill. They are a fascist organization. They have this rebirth of a nation, a xenophobic othering, right? And that salvation is only for them. They have this mortal enemy that they must defeat, which is Esau, aka the white man. And they have a charismatic leader, Bishop Nathaniel, riding this elegant white horse into a Passover celebration, which should be about Jesus, but it seems like it's a lot more about their charismatic leader. They are the very thing that they're condemning America for. IUIC is fascist. Now, don't take my word for it. Look at the thumbnails. They tell you. This is not a secret. This is not something that they keep behind closed doors for the special few. No, they're very out in the open. But I don't think they realize that that's what they are. That's what makes it so ironic. Here you are doing a whole video about the fascism of America when you fit the ideology. This is what you teach. This is your worldview. You're an ultra-nationalist organization with a perceived mythology of this great nation who have come together to take back what was once taken from you by Esau. And the person that's going to lead you to that is this charismatic leader by the name of Bishop Nathaniel. Fascism 101, guys. Fascism. They are a fascist organization, among other things. And, you know, it's so weird that these guys keep shooting themselves in the foot, whether it's in the Bible, reading things out of context, or outside the Bible. Time and time again, we have seen them use different sources, and it comes back to bite them in the end. So here and here's yet another time where they do this about what, an hour or so video on the fascism of America. Meanwhile, you're the fascist. Like, by definition. We just went down, you know, some of the major tenets of this ultra-nationalism, and these guys fit it to a T. They're fascists. They're ultra-nationalists. And you know what's funny? They would agree with everything I said about them. They wouldn't see this as a bad thing. Being ultra-nationalist, only caring about your people. And I'm not saying anything that they don't say on a regular basis in all these videos. This is what they teach. They would not disagree. The only thing that they would disagree with is they won't like me sharing what they believe in a negative light. That's the only thing they'll have an issue with. But the actual tenets, they agree wholeheartedly. It's about them and nobody else. And once we defeat our enemies, we will rule the nations. That's ultra-nationalist thinking. The only difference is, you know, they sprinkle a couple of scriptures in it to try to make it look more spiritual when it's not. So that's what I want to share with you guys. It's like, it's just, they are fascists. You know, they teach falsehoods and they are fascists. They are ultra-nationalists and they're here, you know, to steal you away from the gospel. The very thing that, you know, saves you, the only thing that really matters. That's the one thing they want to take away from you. That's their job. Now, they wouldn't phrase it that way, but that's their job. They want to take the gospel away from you and replace it with fascism. Fascism with fringes. That's what they want to replace it with. Fascism with fringes and purple and gold t-shirts. So that's all I wanted to share with you guys. Hope you found this informative. Please share the video. I would greatly appreciate that. So this is BK signing off. Peace.